back, everyone. I'm Celia from Let's Talk Terror, and today we are going to talk about one of the most wild, crazy, and just chaotic short films that I have seen this year, Frankslist. Now, joining me today is writer, director, and star Christine Celozzi, and she somehow turned a sketchy job interview into an extremely unforgettable horror experience. So we're going to talk about the madness of Frankslist, the fine art of horror comedy, and what Christine is cooking up next. So buckle in and maybe don't apply for any jobs on Frankslist. Hello, Christine. Thank you for coming to speak with me about Frankslist today. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. But before we do that, please introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Christine Celozzi. I wrote, directed, and acted in and edited Frankslist.
You edited it too. Why do you
I
have so
did.
many hats? You know you don't have to do that, but you did.
Yeah.
But it turned out well. They were all good
Thank you.
decisions. So you did a
Thank you.
great job.
Thank you very much.
So, Frankslist, tell us in a sentence or two, what is Frankslist about?
Yes. So Frankslist is about a woman named Meg, and she takes a job interview off of an online classifieds website, only to find herself thrown into the midst of pure corporate chaos.
To put it lightly.
Yes.
Where did this idea come from? First of all, did it just pop into your head or is it like based in reality somehow? I hope it's not that second option because that would be crazy.
Okay, no, I haven't experienced that per se, but I mean a lot of it is pulled from personal experience. And I just feel like if you're the kind of person who's, worked in an office or worked for corporate, you meet characters. Like it's just gonna happen. I feel like that's why The Office was so successful, you know?
Yeah.
It's very relatable and I have definitely met some characters and I have found some questionable jobs and interviews off of classified sites that could or could not have ended poorly. And thankfully, I'm here to tell the story, so clearly they didn't. Um, but yeah, I think just, as somebody who has had a lot of roller coaster rides trying to figure out what my career was going to be and taking way too long to do it, like I just fell into so many situations across so many industries that I was like, okay. And I don't regret it in retrospect because Frank's List wouldn't exist without it.
Right. I'm so glad it exists. Truly is one of my like top five anythings that I've watched this year. Oh my
I'm
God.
so
Like
happy.
I cannot get over I
Thank
cannot get
you.
over how good this was.
Thank you.
And even now I'm just like that was like the funniest thing that I've ever seen. I wasn't expecting anything from it, but it's like, oh my God, like I cannot stop thinking about Frank's List. Even the name, where did the name come from? Because Frank is kind of a funny name. Sorry to all you Franks out there, but Frank is kind of a funny name. So it makes me laugh that this is called like, oh, Craigslist, Frank's List.
Yeah. I can't go too far.
Oh, there's a story behind this.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
And I'm like, I feel like if I shared it, I would disappoint a lot of people who are close to me. So
Oh, you don't have to share. We'll leave it a
maybe
mystery.
off the record. I'll share with
Okay,
you.
okay. After we cut recording.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it totally lends itself to this entire world where it's just like, oh my God, what?
Oh, just another thing based in realism. I love that.
Yes.
So I did review this, and I wrote in my review that this felt kind of like a mix between Saw and Step Brothers.
I loved that.
And yes, and I meant every bit of it, because there's something about the mix of horror and comedy that you nail it. You nail it. How did you get that perfect balance of horror and comedy? How did you do that? Does it come naturally to you?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. Like as a person, I feel like a lot of my friends who know me are like they call me the Gremlin, and my production company's name is Gremlin Express, and it's because I feel like I have I don't know, it's very natural for it to. It's kind of how I've dealt with everything in life, all of the hard stuff is like, okay, like what's the worst case scenario here? And then how do I make it funny? And I think just finding something, for me that feels real enough, but it's taken to the extreme, and then the person experiencing it is so grounded, where it's like there's humor in the seriousness of like what's happening to this person and how they're reacting to it, where they're kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, am I losing my mind? Is it me? And I just feel like so many people can relate to that feeling, especially as of late. So it's like, I think being able to do that and then utilizing all of the elements in order to really hone in on the emotion that I wanted for each scene or each moment. Um, using the camera or camera movements to act as a player and really represent, okay, this is a comedic part. Or sound design was a huge part of that, and the music was a huge part of that. So it all kind of comes together, and it's something that's really fun to play with, to figure out, okay, how do I get the emotion that I want out of this? And what do I need to add to it, and what's already there that I can, kind of play up.
Out of all of the people who have seen Frankslist, was there any time that that they told you about that someone had an emotion that you weren't expecting? Or were you like, everyone pretty much had like what what should have been there?
Yeah, not yet, but what I am curious about and what happened with my last film, My Friends the Plants, which is also an absurd comedy, an absurd horror comedy, is different audiences will experience it differently, and they'll laugh at different parts, and they'll laugh at parts where I'm like, that wasn't even intended to be funny, and it just is a funny thing for them. So I'm always curious what's going to catch an audience, and being able to be in the room and hear the reactions after you've watched, your own film like 50 times. You're no longer watching it, you're more so experiencing what everybody else is doing around you while they're watching it. I think that's one of my favorite parts.
Do you know what my favorite part of the movie is?
I do want to
Do you want
know.
to guess?
Is it the toilet scene?
No,
I've
no,
had a
but
couple of those.
that's number two, actually. No, actually, it's when Meg, okay, so she goes into this building. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers, but she goes into this
Yeah.
building. It looks sketchy as hell. And first, she has to go through a hole cut through the door.
Yes.
But that's not it. It's after she gets through the hole in the door, down the little step ladder on the other side, and the receptionist has her take a scooter 5 feet to the receptionist's desk.
Yeah.
I was done. I was done after that. It was,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Well, I feel like, when I've worked in offices, there have just been small tests where it's like, how far? How far? I'm bored. How far can I push this person? What will they do? So it was a layer of that.
You you directed, you wrote it, you starred in it, you edited it. How was how was that juggling? How did you do that? Because that's a lot of hats to wear. And a lot of people that I talk to, they'll maybe do one or two, but you're doing like everything almost.
Uh, you know what? It seems that way when you list them off, but I honestly had such an incredible team, and my producers were incredible, and like anytime that I was like I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, it was kind of like, okay, like how can we move things around to make this work? So for them, sometimes on set, they were my eyes. Or, if I needed to get down and dirty and I'm in this small bathroom, there's a small ass bathroom. It's me and Mitchell in there. We're stuck in there. The cameras, the camera and Yushin are in there with us. The first AC's right outside the door with her own monitor. So I couldn't see anything, so it was like they were my eyes for those parts. Um, and so it got to a point where I couldn't watch every take back. We were running out of time. So it was kind of like, all right, like I need you guys to be my eyes. So they would step up to the plate always. And I was really grateful to have a team that was just very kick-ass.
So your team, are these people that you normally work with all the time, or were some people new, or how do you guys work together? Was it
Yes.
like, ooh, like this?
So Ming Fen Congdon, she's my producer, my production designer. She's a very good friend of mine. And she had done production design on a couple things for me before, but she was the first person that I shared the script with. And she was like, "Oh, we're making this." And when I wrote it, I had no intention of making it anytime soon. Um, I was just kind of like, all right, I wrote it. It's funny. I'll share it to some people. And she's like, "No, we're making it." And then she pulled on her team from her last project. And I was supposed to be the lead on that project as an actor, and I got COVID. So I
Mm.
wasn't able to work with them. So I was grateful that, we were able to pull all of that together on Frankslist and have that. Um, but yeah, so
Okay.
no, I haven't worked with them too much. This was the first time for Rose and Alexa, and they were just wonderful.
Well, I could tell that everyone worked really well together, so I hope you guys continue to do
Thank
so.
you.
You got a good team there. You make some good work.
Thank you.
Now, onto world building, this whole story. The short itself is fairly contained.
Mhm.
It's not one room, but it's like one space, I'll say.
Yeah.
But the whole world around it feels much bigger. Was there anything in production that helped you achieve that? Was it like, oh, certain lighting? Was it certain, I don't know, practical effects? How did you create such a world in such a tiny space?
Yeah, the production design definitely helps with it. So we just had a giant warehouse. And so every set that you see, other than the bathroom, we built ourselves. We built the hallway, we built the reception area, Ms. Smith's office, the waiting room, all of it was built. And we wanted to make sure that it felt separate enough. So every room, Ming Fen and I sat down and we came up with different color schemes for every room, in order to make it feel separate, but then there are still through lines with specific colors. Um, and kind of leaving everything open. So, the reception area has one wall, and other than that, it's wide open. Ms. Smith's office, it doesn't have any walls except for, the back corners of the warehouse. And then we had the hanging windows, just to make it feel larger. And then the waiting area was supposed to feel the smallest because that's where she's, you know, well, other than the bathroom. But those scenes where like the characters are almost on top of
Right.
her or vice versa, we wanted those areas to feel smaller. So everything was very meticulously planned out.
Okay. Now, story-wise, I really like how even though Frank's List is just like a chaotic, chaotic everything, you were still able to root it in realism. For example, Meg is about to bail early on, and she gets a text talking about how she owes money. I really like that. I just wanted to point it out.
Thank you.
I appreciated still like, okay, you're bringing us up here, but then you're like, okay, but this is actually like, there's some stuff on the line here for her,
Yeah.
which helps explain why she isn't just leaving. Because
Yes.
I would have left. I would have bet I would not have entered the building, first of all.
Yeah. And no, most people in their right mind wouldn't. And I mean, we had in the beginning that she's on the phone and she's like, I'm going to lose my apartment, but that just didn't feel like enough.
Yeah.
You know, like you need to see somebody on that brink of desperation of like, oh my God, my whole life is falling apart. Like I haven't heard from anybody. And I wanted it to feel real because heard of so many people who, they send out 300 resumes and they don't get an interview. And I just felt like that was very real for the current economy. Um,
Yes.
so I wanted to hone in on how important it was that she stayed.
Yeah, I can speak from experience. I am employed currently, so thank
Yes.
God. But a year ago, that was me, 300 resumes, maybe two interviews,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nothing. And I mean, I'm fortunate that, I have my husband who is able to like, keep us afloat, keep our house and all that. But man,
Yeah.
I can only imagine that that actually is that's almost scarier than what happens in the film itself. It's knowing that
Right?
what if she doesn't do this? What if she doesn't get this job? Frankslist, I believe it's what, all female led. There's a lot of women empowerment going on here, and I love that. How do you
Yes.
guys, how important is it for you to have that be a thing? Or is it, I don't want to say not important, but was that like something in your mind when you were writing this, when you were making this short?
Yes. So initially, I was supposed to play all four of the female characters.
Okay.
And so they were all like, I never think about it when I'm writing. I just kind of write roles a lot of the time where I'm like, okay, what do I want to play? Um, but for this one, once it started getting so much bigger, and I was like, I can't possibly, it wouldn't be fair to the entire, crew that's coming on for them to just watch me switching between my wigs and you know what I mean? It was just kind
Yeah.
of like, this is ridiculous. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so, I was like, okay, we need to expand. We need to bring other people in. Um, and we held auditions and geez, like each of the actors who came in, they were just fantastic, Immediately I knew like, okay, this is the character. They know it better than I do. So those were easy decisions to make, and it was never a question of whether or not those would be female. But for the crew, I went and saw Band-Aid by Zoe Lister-Jones. Um, Back in 2018 or 2019. And she talked about how it was one of the first films that had an all-female crew and how important that was to her, and how much easier it was to make a movie when your entire crew is female. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I want to do that too. So we set out to make a film where our entire crew was female. Ultimately, we ended up getting all female department heads or female plus, because some of our crew are uh they don't identify as any kind of gender. Um and so it was kind of like, okay, how do we make it so that we have, women plus in all of our department heads, women plus for most of our crew, and we were able to pull it off. 85% of our on-set crew was female plus, which was awesome. And we had such a diverse background. And everybody just brought their A game. Like when I say this was the easiest crew I've ever worked with, it was like, okay, here's a problem. Let's solve it. And that was it. There was no
Yeah.
ego about it. It was just like, okay, we're all here to solve this problem. And it was so nice and lovely and I would love every set to be like that.
Well, hopefully the next few at least can be like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there was just a respect, and
Yeah.
like an unspoken respect that we were all going to treat each other kindly. And if something needed to be changed, then we have a conversation about it. And I don't know, it was, it was so nice. It was so nice.
Speaking of the next few movies, is there going to be a continuation of Frank's List, or are you just leaving it as is? Because you leave us on a cliffhanger.
I do.
I want to know, do you if okay, so first of all, is the story going to be continued? If it is, tell me about it. If not, do you have an idea of how you would end it?
Yeah. I I don't know yet.
Okay.
So I want to see what the consensus is for the audience, to see if they like it or not. And, if there is a large appreciation for it, then yeah, I would love to develop something like this into a feature. I just think there's a lot there, and there's so much further that we could push it, um, to make it just crazier, but still so real. So I would love to explore that. And I don't know what the ending, like, I don't know, I kind of Christopher Nolan'd it where it was like, Inception is going to topple at the end. Um, I kind of wanted it to leave it open to the audience to kind of be like, would I or wouldn't I? Like I wanted it to be more reflective of them than it was of Meg.
Okay. And this audience, so obviously me because I saw it, but
Yes.
has Frankslist gone the festival route or is it going to? Who all will be able to see this?
Yeah, so currently we have it submitted to multiple festivals. We just started the submitting process, so we don't start hearing back until like December next month. Oh my God, next month. But fingers crossed, I'm very excited to see the trajectory of it and where it goes. Um, and then see, what the overall consensus is to make a feature for it. Because that would be very fun.
That would be so fun and that would be crazy. But
Yeah,
even if it didn't, I hope it does, but even if it didn't,
thank you.
then just know that I think this movie is a 10 out of 10. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Just
I
just as
super
it is right
appreciate that.
now. If you ever get to a point where you're making Frank's List merge, I will rock the shit out of it. Please send it to me
Hey,
because
I absolutely will. I
I
will
will
send you
wear
the
it.
first one for
Thank
free.
you. Oh, thank you. I pay for art, but
No,
is there anything else you want to say about Frank's List? If I were some rando who wanted to watch it, would I be able to? And where?
I'd have to send you a private Vimeo link,
Okay. So
which I'm not
maybe
opposed to.
audience, if you ask very nicely, maybe she'll send it.
I probably will. You don't even have to like introduce yourself, just be like, send it. And I'll be like, all right, here it is.
Okay, you said it, not me.
Um, I mean, I do want to circle back because you had asked me about the world building, and
Yes.
you know, I would be so remiss to not mention the lighting and everything that Ash and her team did, and the camera work and everything that Yushin and her team did. Like it all was part of it, and it all brought it together. Um, I just I couldn't have asked for a better like they were just fucking awesome. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned them too. Just everybody on the cast and crew just brought their A game and held their own, and um this film would not exist without any of them
Yes.
at all.
I do have one last question for you.
Yeah.
At what point would you have left this interview? Or would you have left?
As soon as I saw the small door, I'd be like,
Oh,
nah, I'm
yeah.
out. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'd get those text messages and be like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go home. I'm gonna crawl under my blankets in my bed and I'm gonna sleep for the next 3 days and I will figure it out when I wake up.
Yes.
Um, don't be like me. That's very irresponsible. But I don't know. I say that, but like I said, I've also been in situations that I look back on and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I keep going? Like, I'll leave you with one story really quick. I had this classifieds website that I will not mention, that everybody knows of. And I got a gig off of it where this man needed somebody to clean out his garage. And I was like, hey,
Okay.
I can do that. I'm an artist. I don't have any gigs lined up. I'm hard on cash. Let me figure out how I can make some. This man needs his garage cleaned out. I will do that. And I go to his house, and this guy works from home. And I just remember having needing to use the restroom, and it was in his office. And I'm a very quiet person because I don't like to like bother people.
Yeah.
So I like tiptoe behind him. He doesn't know I'm in there. And this man rips the largest fart I've ever heard in my life. And I'm just like, no. Oh my God. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm frozen there. And I start getting like the cold sweats because I'm like trapped. Um, And I was like, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna use the bathroom and it's gonna be fine. So I go and I use the bathroom. I know from outside the door that he realizes that I know what he just did.
Oh no.
And I come out, and this man had the audacity to be like, so you want to like go grab some lunch or something? And I was like,
No.
sir, what?
No.
Come on. Like, even if you hadn't,
Oh,
no.
right. No, now it's not the time or place, especially after what I just heard. You
Yeah.
probably don't need any lunch after that. No.
No, I would like to continue cleaning out your garage, finish that, and then leave as soon as possible. Please.
Jesus.
So yeah, that was an interesting one.
Oh my God. I think I would have preferred Meg's situation to that, to be honest, because
I'm telling you.
yikes.
I'm telling you. I I'll give it to him. I was like, dang, if I could just have an ounce of your confidence, like,
Right?
you
Right.
know?
All right.
But yeah, don't do that, guys. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
please don't do that. Don't be weird about it.
No.
Don't be weird. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Let's Talk Terror with Friends. A super, super huge thank you to Christine for joining me. Now, I knew that the job market was crazy, but Frankslist really hit the nail on the head. If you haven't seen it yet, please go check it out. It is such a good time. And as always, head to letstalkterror.com for more news, booze, and reviews for the average Hollow Geek. Stay spooky.